Hey guys.
Welcome back.
So we're gonna do one final one with this setup, and we realized earlier. I know this is gonna be a whole different episode, so if you didn't watch any of the other ones, like don't fucking worry about it. But Cole and I went to go see Gretel and Hansel, right?
Mm-hmm. 4 out of 10. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
We rated it a 4 out of 10.
Yeah.
But before the movie happened, we showed up. We met there, and we got our tickets.
Oh my god, this is the best, you guys.
And Cole wanted to get, like, I didn't realize what he was doing, but he was getting like a cup of water from the concession stand. So I was just standing there behind him. But before we got there, Cole said, "Hey, that guy dropped his sandwich." And I'm like, so I'm like, what? And there was a guy who was right after us at the ticket counter.
Yeah, like an older guy all by himself.
Yeah, at the West Warren. And he's by himself, jacket or something over his arm.
Yeah, he had a jacket over his arm.
Yeah, and it turns out that he must have been smuggling in a QuikTrip sandwich.
Yeah, like a whole sub.
Yeah, like it was like this long. Yeah, it had to have been like an 8-inch or so. I don't know what QuikTrip's got, but and it was just like flopped out on the ground next to him, and he didn't notice.
Wrapped up still.
Yeah, like still wrapped with the sticker and stuff.
Yeah.
And he didn't notice while he was buying his ticket, and Cole kept you could tell Cole was like, okay, I'm gonna go tell him he's fucking dropped his sandwich.
Yeah, but I'm hesitating because like Cameron said, it's not you don't just be like, hey, you dropped your sandwich that you're not supposed to bring in.
Which I didn't even think about till later. So as Cole was done getting his water and we were walking away, Cole also noticed like, oh shit, he is now walking away from his sandwich.
Yeah, he just left it on the ground.
So I'm like, Cole and I were like, okay, yeah, now we got to definitely rescue this guy's sandwich.
Yeah, we sprung into action.
And immediately I was just like, you get the guy, I'll get the sandwich.
And I'm like, bet.
So no planning.
We split up and I'm like, excuse me, sir. And he turns around and I'm like, hey, I think you dropped your sandwich back there. And he's like so confused looking. Cameron's over at the fucking counter.
I'm like kind of like trotting over to the counter and I pick up the sandwich, and as I reach for it, I'm like, oh shit, this is when I realized like, oh, this guy dropped a sandwich he was smuggling. I didn't even think about that at first. For some reason, when we first figured out this guy dropped a sandwich, I was like, oh, he'll notice his sandwich. Like, I didn't even think about like, oh, nobody's supposed to notice that.
Right.
Sitting on the ground.
Something that you're not supposed to bring in.
As I picked it up and it's right in front of the counter and all the people see me approaching it, like I'm going to be like, hey, I got a question really quick.
You just dip behind.
I dip below the counter and then I kind of like grab it and just kind of put it up to my chest and kind of like leave. So they're like, oh, he must have found that guy's like wallet or like his sandwich.
I hope they don't give a shit. I'm assuming. But anyways,
Cameron, but it was enough close to me that they probably couldn't even tell.
Yeah. Cameron rescues his sandwich. Fucking like I'm talking to the guy. He's looking mad confused, and I'm like, you dropped your sandwich. He's getting it, and he's like, huh? And like fucking Cameron comes over and he's like, here you go, man. What did you say to him?
I was just like, I didn't tell him about your sandwich.
Cameron's like trying to be like, here you go, man. I rescued it for you, but don't worry, I got you. I didn't tell anybody.
I didn't tell anybody. And he's like 50 feet away from where his sandwich dropped. Like it's like if you're familiar with the theaters, there's the ticket counter and that concession stand in the middle. Yeah. Cole and him are standing right in the middle of the side of it, and I just like I've only traveled this far. But I'm like, I didn't tell anybody about your sandwich, and he's still like, huh? Like it's so almost confused. Like I don't know if it was our jackets. Like maybe he thought like we worked there. And we were gonna be like, hey, did you bring this fucking sandwich?
Yeah. What the fuck is this? Like we don't sell these here, sir.
Yeah. Or if it's like us being like, hey, you dropped your sandwich, and giving him like a like that kind of thing. But he was just kind of like, and then we walked off and we rescued that guy's sandwich. So it's just funny to know he didn't go in our theater. Right. So he was going to some movie by himself to enjoy that fucking QuikTrip sandwich.
With a whole QuikTrip sandwich that he almost didn't have.
Yeah.
Had it not been for your boys.
Your boys. Sandwich SOS.
New name for the podcast.
Yeah. Sandwich Rescue.
We're not sandwiches.
Sandwich 911. We're not sandwiches.
Oh my God.
Okay, that's going to sound fucking stupid to all you guys.
Right.
But,
should we explain it to people, or should we just... We should explain it.
Yeah, right? Yeah, let's explain it. So Cole and I want to, at some point, make a billboard, right? Yeah. And it's just going to have us, like, chilling, like, back to back or something.
Real quick. I was driving by, like, driving down 21st Street, and there's a billboard that said, "We're lawyers." And that's all it said. Yeah, it just said, "We're lawyers," and it had a couple guys like standing there. And I remember driving by, like getting pissed off, being like, "Yeah, I fucking know." Like anytime there's like a billboard with a person on it, they're either a realtor or a fucking lawyer. Mm-hmm. And like, what's the point of putting your face on a billboard? Like, I drive by, I know what it is. I'm like, okay, well, if I ever need one, I'm probably just gonna Google it.
Yeah.
But then I was like, what if we get on that billboard? And what stupid thing can we do?
Yeah. And it went through a couple iterations of like.
What I wanted originally, the idea was to have a photo of us on there and it's saying we're not lawyers.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And then
we're not lawyers.
And
so
then
people
our
are like,
website.
What?
Like, what are you then? Yeah. But then Karen came up with the idea. I guess
I don't remember the other ideas, but it eventually landed at just being like, we're not sandwiches.
Right.
And just because it's so stupid and absurd that like, if you see that and you just see two guys like smiling.
Just imagine driving down Kellogg, seeing a billboard with two dudes kind of like leaning back to back, and then just a big text underneath that says, we're not, in all caps, not sandwiches. And then there's a clip art of a sandwich next to us with a big like line through it.
Yeah, and then like our logo in the corner. Yeah. And our website somewhere.
And our website underneath it.
And then it's just they're like, what the fuck are they?
Yeah, what the fuck do you do when you see that? You're like, we're not sandwiches.
And we were thinking about like on Instagram and shit, like on our business account, just like posting a couple photos of just like the weeks prior of just like every once in a while, just like a sandwich with like the Ghostbuster fucking like not sandwich.
Yep. Just a shitty like stock image of a sandwich and a caption that says we're not this.
Yeah. And people are like, what the fuck is this about? And then they start driving down Kellogg and they're like, holy shit. This was a campaign.
Yeah, for what? Because it's like people are going to see that and they're going to be curious. Like some people got to be curious enough to be like, I'm going to go to this website because I don't know what the fuck is going on here. Yeah. And they're going to see that we're a video service and they're going to be like, well, I don't need that. These services, but at least I know like what they
I know
do
who
now.
These people are now. Like I'm not in the market for an ad for my business or a wedding video, but I guess I know who they are.
Yeah, and then just think like later on down the road, what if like the business they're working for needs a promotional video done, and then like they like their boss comes up and they're like, hey guys, we've got some dudes from a company called River City Visuals coming here, and that person's like, what the fuck? That's the place that I looked up, and then it's just I feel like it's just got to stick out in people's minds.
Our thing is we've always wanted to make an ad, whether it be a video or something like this. That's funny. Like you just see too much shit because you know the average business doesn't want to put in money to have something produced or anything that isn't to the point, tells the people what they need, because you know they probably have a certain amount of budget and everything, because we deal with clients now who have that budget, and you know, most people are just, you know, they're going to be really conservative because they're like, I just need this shit on TV. It needs to say what we do. It needs to say my fucking website. And that's it, which is, I mean, that's all you really need. But like, how much more engaging if you give somebody something where they're like, is this a fucking SNL skit?
If
like
you confuse
an ad?
The whole goal is like an advertisement that is just made to confuse people.
Yeah. Because my thing is like, okay, me and you can make an ad. Yeah. And it can say exactly what we do, and then we can give them our website. Yeah. Okay. It's like a trailer that says the whole movie. Like almost.
That's true.
So if you make an ad that's funny and everybody's like, what the fuck is this even about? Right. You're going to drive more people to your website or your Facebook or whatever, and people are then going to themselves participate in teaching themselves what you do. And at that point, that information's more engaged and like in their brain rather than just like, oh yeah, they do this.
I think naturally confusion sparks curiosity.
It's the curiosity. That's what it is. And we don't want to be, you know, super like dumb ads. Like we don't want to be
talked about some pretty dumb stuff before for ads.
Well, I mean like you know, and I'm sorry, but like, you know, everybody doesn't like the supercar guy commercials and shit.
Oh yeah.
But those ads are effective because they get stuck in your head.
Damn straight.
There's a method behind them. We're not really thinking about going that route. We want to actually structure a commercial that's like funny or a simple billboard that's just like causes confusion.
Yep.
And it's just like, oh, these guys put in money to do this, like to fucking basically make a joke. Like,
I love it.
Because to us, nothing sounds better than like us just sitting back and be like seeing the engagement of shit. Like people,
our whole lives of us knowing each other, we have just pretty much lived for people's reactions.
Yeah.
Like
tension whores.
Yeah. Even stuff that like there's no way we'll ever actually see the reaction, but in our head, like we leave something behind, and then in our head we're like, man, someone's gonna find that, and we're gonna be so confused. Yeah. And that's what does it for us.
Yeah.
I love the idea of confusing people.
In that Gretel and Hansel movie, I saw that where like she came across all those shoes tied up in trees and shit.
Oh,
I was thinking, like, how great would it just be to go out in the middle of nowhere
and
set something up like that, and then just fucking leave it, knowing that 10 years from now, when those things age or whatever, two fucking dudes might be walking through there and being like, what the fuck?
Scary shit.
And just knowing we'll never see the payoff, but just knowing that like to us we can manufacture more payoff than that would ever deliver. Just thinking about who might possibly come.
I know. Because the possibilities are endless in
if
our
anything,
head.
using our imagination to satisfy that drive is just better.
It's so satisfying.
But
I feel like we've done that before, where we've left something.
We've definitely done some shit like that. I'm trying to think of a specific
example, but I can't think of like a
I mean, we've made rocks spell out shit, like a little, small scale stuff like that. But I mean, we've set up. Remember in the ditch by your house, we like set up this fucking giant.
Oh, I think that's what I'm trying to think of.
Wooden statue.
Yeah, it was like a wooden pyramid.
Yeah.
And we like drew symbols around it and stuff.
Yeah.
Just weird enough so that we were like, man, someone's gonna walk by and be like,
yeah.
What the fuck is that?
And when you started dating Julie, and like you guys were gonna go back to your house, and I was staying the night or whatever, and I just needed to like fuck off for like a little bit. You remember that?
Oh my God, I forgot about that, dude.
So I basically just walked around by myself for like hours, right?
Holy shit.
And I found like a car bumper like on the side of the street somewhere, and I dragged it all the way to your fucking house.
All by yourself?
And like, yeah, like I'm just walking the side of the street. Somebody's just like, that dude's just carrying a bumper.
Didn't you like leave it in the field? And then tell me like when you got back, like, dude, I have a surprise for you.
Yeah, I put it on top of one of those giant, like where they do construction. It's like the mounds of dirt. I like climbed up to the top of that.
That's so weird.
And put it up there.
Oh my God, dude, I love that shit so much. That's like the greatest thing ever. Cameron's like, dude, I got a surprise for you, but it's out in the middle of the field, and I know it's like 2 a.m., but you gotta come out and see it. So like, he fucking leads me on this like nighttime
and it at least
travel.
takes like 30-40 minutes to get out there.
Yeah.
Because it's like a walk.
This fucking adventure to the top of this dirt mound in the middle of nowhere, and it's just a fucking car bumper. And
That's
he's like,
it.
I found this for you. It's so unsettling.
This is the only thing.
I remember on that walk being like, like I know Cameron pretty well, but like, you know, we weren't at the level that we're at now or anything like that. Yeah. And I remember thinking like, he could kill me if he really wanted to.
I don't remember where I found it, or I just remember walking and being like, well, I can't just fucking leave this here.
What the what? There's a whole ass car bumper. It's a perfectly good car bumper. I can't leave this here.
Yeah, if anything, I have to drag it to the field where like construction people now have to figure out what to do with
it. yeah. You know, the fucking like construction workers are gonna come back there the next day to get started. They're gonna be like,
yeah, like who knows? It was like a weekend. It's like they're sitting there for 2 days. Somebody shows up Monday and they're like, go. They travel up there to get some dirt or drop some shit off, and they're like, there's a fucking car bumper over here. Some youths fucking dropped a car bumper off of here. What do you want me to do with it?
Oh,
just bury it?
God, that's amazing.
But
God, there's talking about that. There's so many stories that we can't share on this thing.
Right.
God damn it.
Right. Because y'all are too fucking sensitive.
Now the comments are going to be at like, what stories are you talking about?
It's none of your business.
None of your business. It's so weird. Like every time Cameron and I would hang out in like fucking middle school and high school, it would seriously every night would be filled with stories.
Yeah.
It's so fucking cool. Like we didn't just fucking sit around and play video games all day and like not make memories, which we did play video games and like have fun and shit like that. But like, damn, we were out in the world just doing stupid shit.
Yeah.
Weird shit.
Yeah, fuck yeah. How much time we got left?
We're at 14 minutes.
Sweet. No, I totally forgot that I was going to talk about the homeless person in my house.
Oh.
I'm going to segue into that.
Oh,
really quick.
Do you have an update that I don't know about?
No, I just am going to inform.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to point out like where I live, but next door to me is a full ass abandoned house, like multi-level abandoned house. And
one of the selling points for Cameron, actually.
It was actually really cool. Yeah, moving in, I was like, there's a fucking haunted house next to me. And it looks really similar to my house. I think they're both from like, my house is from 1888. So this house is either just as old or older.
So cool.
Right? That's fucking cool. But I guess it's been abandoned for like over 30 years because the owner, we were told this by a realtor.
It's like a ghost story.
It's the only point of any information. So I don't know the actual details, but apparently it was abandoned, you know. Nobody wants to sell it because it's like a family heirloom. But there's homeless people living in it every once in a while. Like last year, there was like a homeless guy and girl and like a dog. And eventually they left. Like I boarded the fucking front door shut. And there's like a deck up to the back, a broken window. Cole and I went there just the other day. What were you going to say?
I was going to say he had to board it up because, not really like knowledgeable about what to do, like what the city does with homeless people in that situation. Apparently they can't really do anything. Like the police and all that stuff. It's like, if you don't want homeless people living in an abandoned house next to you, you pretty much have to take actions in your own hands and board it up yourself, which is crazy.
And now that I have a little bit more contacts with the parade, like I just met with the police to do the parade stuff, and I asked him, I was like, dude, there's a fucking homeless person living next door to me, like, because Cole and I just went the other day, because Ashley, she was leaving and saw somebody like as she disappeared from the street, she looked back and like somebody like ran towards what looked like our house. So she was like, hey, and we were shooting something. I can't remember what it was. Yeah. It's a Schofield thing, I think.
Oh yeah.
And she was like, hey, can you just like check the cameras? Cause we have some cameras. And like, I didn't see anything on there, but Cole came with me. We walked up the back deck cause the front door was still boarded shut. We checked. And we walked up the back deck and I looked through the window. We were about to leave and I just peeked through one window and there's somebody sleeping on a mattress in this place. And it sucks because part of you is like, man, it's cold. It's winter. So you're like, the human in you is like, well, shit, I wouldn't want to be out in the cold. Like, fuck yeah. Like, he's at least not in the wind, or she, or whoever. Yeah. And you're like, well, I mean, what else are they supposed to do? But at the same time, you're like, okay, it's already going to be cold in that house. There's no heating, electricity, anything, gas, nothing. So if they want to get warmer than that, they have to start a fire of some sort. And to me, I'm like, okay, well, the risk of that is I just bought my first house in last summer, and I don't need a homeless person starting a fire in this old house that, you know, I've kind of stepped in. I know this is full of twigs and dry leaves and dry shit that could easily, one spark could catch this fucking thing on fire. Like one cigarette, anything. And your worry is like, well, this place is going to catch on fire. And the house is actually really close to my house. Like if you're upstairs and you look out a window, it'd be like a fucking movie. It's almost closer than what a movie would be, where you have like the fucking like two neighbors that like each other and they're like talking through the fucking windows and shit. Yeah. It's like that. There's a window. They're like they're almost identical where they stare directly into the other windows, which is also fucking creepy. Yeah. And if that house catches on fire, my house is catching on fire. No fucking doubt.
And that's a really good point you brought up that like I didn't think about at all, because I was in the same like mindset that you were about how like, man, no, like I'd probably leave them there because it's, you know, it's fucking cold outside and like it's a free place to stay. You've got a roof over your head, even though it's not the greatest condition, but like still it's better than nothing. You know, it's better than sitting on the street. But that point about just recklessness, you know, like total accident.
Yeah, because to them, if an accident like that happens, they just have to make sure they get out of the house and they'd go. They're on their way. They're like, oh, that place is done. Yeah. It's like, to me, that could literally financially like ruin my life and fucking like disappear all my belongings, like birth certificates, everything, my fucking animals. At that point, it's like a major tragic life event. Yeah. Like that sucks. It does suck. Because I remember my sister's apartment caught on fire and she lost everything. Her animals, fucking everything. Like, and that was an apartment. Like, this is like a whole house. Like, I mean, she had just as much shit, I'm sure, but I mean, still, it's just, and that was tragic as fuck. Like, I remember I was there. Like, it sucked. So just thinking, and then, you know, my house goes down. Who knows? My neighbor house goes down and everything. And it's just, it's just a fucking mess. And then we're put out until we can find a place to like, you know, crashing with family members and shit. It's just, it's a whole unavoidable issue that like nobody can really help with. like it's just, there's nowhere there. The fucking vacancy notice is on the door. Yeah. And they're like, it's old. Like the number on it doesn't even connect to anything anymore. Like, there's just nobody you can call the police and all they can do is sit outside and like hope nobody goes in.
Have you checked lately?
Not since we checked. But I mean, I drove by this morning and there's snow on the ground right now and I saw footsteps on the sidewalk.
Really? So like, leading up to
the porch.
Damn.
So, and the thing is, I put a camera out, like my back camera. It just kind of faces to see if anybody gets through my gate. So I moved it to face towards the deck, and like it hasn't gone off or anything. So, and one time I saw the guy. I was upstairs in my room, and I saw the guy because there's a guy right now living in it. It looks like one guy. He had some food, and he was walking, and I saw him. It's almost like he like looks like he's not gonna go in, and then he like turns and just goes like in really quickly.
Oh yeah.
But he never walked up the deck because I sat there for like 15 minutes and watched like the back to see if he came up the stairs. So I don't know how he's getting in.
I bet he's going in through that basement door.
Weird little like, he's got one of those old timey like fucking like basement
cellar
like
doors.
Angled things. Yeah. So it's got to be that.
Which fuck that. That sounds scary as shit.
It's worse. Yeah. But if you think about it, all the trees are dead, and somebody could see him from the highway or from another yard going up
climbing
that
up
shit.
The house.
Yeah. So it's probably less noticeable.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a fucking homeless person living next to me, and like. it sucks because I just have to think about I have to be selfish when it comes to this because there's just too much at risk.
Which I think is reasonable.
Yeah, there's just
you should I think I said last time when he's gone, just fucking take out those steps that lead up to the deck and then board up that cellar thing.
Because that's what I was gonna. That's why I looked to see if he was coming up those stairs. Because I told Ashley, I was just like, Cole had a good fucking idea. Like I could just lop those fucking deck stairs off and then he's not gonna get up there. But then he didn't even use the stairs. So I don't fucking know.
I want everybody get out of that place so that we can go exploring.
I know that's another thing. I want to go in there selfishly.
Yeah.
And just look around, but at the same time, there could be people in there when we go in, and then how fucked up is that? And that's the thing that I bitch about to you all the time. It's like it sucks too because no matter who you call, or who you talk to about it, they're like, oh well, you can go do this. It's like I shouldn't have to fucking go anywhere near this house because not only am I putting myself in danger for that, which is fine, whatever. Yeah. You put yourself in danger. That person could either be completely normal and be like, okay, I mean, fuck, yeah, sorry, I just, this is the best thing I could find, whatever, and then it can be a normal conversation. And then they watch you go back to your house.
And they could be crazy.
Yeah. And then it's like, okay, well, fuck, I know where you live now. Okay, I can throw shit over your fence and feed your dog shit, or I could fucking, just throw dangerous shit back there. I can fucking start this fucking house on fire anyway. If I can't have it, you can't fucking have it, kind of thing.
Yeah, you never know.
I don't know. It's just not good. I just don't fucking like it. So, and there's no matter who you call, it just seems like there's no fucking solution. Damn. But there's supposed to be some guy who got a note in his mailbox at the police station who's handles shit like that, who's supposed to call me now. And I mean, that was a week and a half ago. Nobody's contacted me, but
it's just the homeless guy.
I don't know what it is. It's some guy with my area who
he's a homeless guy.
Fucks with shit like that, yeah. And homeless guy. But yeah, I got a homeless person living next to me, and it fucking sucks.
So as I said, I want to explore that house with you sometime if there's nobody in there. But I watched this fucking YouTube video. I think you and I have talked about it since then. But it's basically a whole warning to people that do go and look in abandoned houses, which Cameron and I fucking spend a lot of time searching abandoned houses.
Yeah.
And crazy homeless people make booby traps.
Yeah, traps. That's another thing I'm fucking worried about.
I think there was a post on Reddit of this guy whose job it is to go clear out abandoned houses and get ready for demolition and stuff like that. Fucking open a door and there's a tripwire on the stairs, and then he took a photo and posted on Reddit, and there's just a fucking board that has a bunch of nails.
Oh, I think I've seen that, or you've shown it to me, and it swings the fuck down.
Yeah, if you hit the tripwire, it'll swing down right where your face is. And it's Jesus.
Yeah,
I didn't even think about having to worry about booby traps when you were exploring a bunch of abandoned houses. That's
you probably showed me that a long time ago, and now that's all I don't even want to take more than 2 steps in because I'm I don't fucking know what's in this place.
I don't want a fucking syringe needle popping out. Someone blow darting me in the neck with one.
It's just fucking so just sit in the corner it's a booby trap, bitch.
Fuck, it's no, not the fucking.
No, it's just a blow dart, but it still sucks.
Just he yells booby trap before he blow darts you with the syringe.
It's not any kind of setup.
It's
it's no, at this point you're just attacking me. It's somebody running up to me booby trap, punching you in the face. It's I guess. I am surprised.
I don't think you understand what that means, sir.
Oh my god.
Last thing I will say, while we've got a little bit of time left, a story about abandoned houses. Some of you may not know is Cameron and I one time when we were looking through an abandoned house, we look for stuff horror movie type stuff.
For sure.
And one time we found a fucking VHS tape.
Oh, I love the way we found it too.
I know. So it's there's a fucking high shelf in this closet, and Cameron puts his phone on fucking video mode.
So it's the fucking, what is it, a periscope from a fucking
and it's
submarine?
And he's just dude, there's a VHS tape up there.
Is there's one VHS tape on an empty shelf?
That's it. And so we're this is it. This is the gold mine. We're gonna see if it's someone murdering somebody on here. We fucking take it back to my parents' house. My sister is the only person in the whole house who has a TV that has a VHS player attached to it, old school TV. And so we go in there, we put the VHS tape in, and we're oh my God, I can't wait to see this. And my sister, Mia, she's oh, can I watch it with you guys? And we're sure. I don't know what's on it, though. Just so you know, it might be somebody murdering somebody. She's ooh, that sounds good. Let's watch it. And fucking fades up from black, just greasy 70s dick pumping itself into some fucking greasy 70s woman. Yeah. And it's just bush and everything. It's just fucking orange. It's just the nastiest
old footage of
porn. 70s porn that you could ever think about watching.
And it's like I think at that point your sister's like 12.
Probably.
I want to say it had to have been 12 because me and you.
I would have been 15. I wouldn't have been able to drive anywhere. I'm only 3 years older than her.
Did we drive?
Yeah, we drove.
Oh, we didn't. That wasn't when we were walking.
Nah.
I swear she was fucking 12. Maybe not. Nah. She was young.
15 or something. 14 or 15.
But I just remember being like, that sucks.
Yeah,
like,
fucking sucked.
And just because it was on one of those like little TVs that has the VHS part in it.
We're just immediately like trying to like eject it and stuff. But it's like, God damn it. Who's fucking like pirated some 70s porn and decided to put it on a VHS tape? And they're like cleaning their house about to leave before they abandon it. And they're like, I've seen it. Just fucking
I need to cut myself off. Cold turkey. I'm just gonna leave this tape. But that fucking sucked. Like always, like that shit.
Like that shit. Subscribe to that shit.
Yeah, subscribe. Comment down in the comments of anything you think you'd be cool for us to cover. If you're local, we can talk about local shit. We can talk about just stuff that you find interesting, or if you want to hear, if you want to know more about like does Cole even wash his face or his butt? Like we can talk about that. We can talk about that. Cole will be honest. Cole will be like, I don't wash my butt.
I don't.
I don't.
Yeah, shit, don't.
But just if you wanted us to talk about anything, we'll do it. And if we don't get to it, we'll keep like a running list. But yeah, comments help out, likes help out, subscribing helps out, really helps us a lot. We're trying to do this consistently, and if we see that nobody likes us, we're gonna fuck off.